Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an exciting announcement for the third installment to the Star Wars Jedi game. So we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As a read, the Star Wars Jedi franchise was confirmed to be back in active development for a third game, according to the series' star, Cameron Monaghan. The very successful Star Wars Jedi series of video games has a lot to like about it. A charismatic lead, a satisfying lightsaber combat to the game, and a compelling storyline set between the prequel and the original trilogies. And I can't wait to see it go on beyond that, beyond the original trilogy, and fingers crossed one day actually have Cal Kestis in live action somewhere in the Mandoverse. The first game, Jedi Fallen Order from 2018, saw a young Cal Kestis grapple with the state of the galaxy as well as his own past as a Padawan during Order 66. It's the 2023 sequel, Jedi Survivor, of where a pitted Cal is against the might of the Empire, as well as a fearsome new villain called Ravis. Ocala Comic-Con in Florida had welcomed Cameron Monaghan of Star Wars Jedi Survivor fame for a panel on the game series. And so it was there that the actor had announced that Star Wars Jedi 3 is in development, saying that, in quote, "We're working on the third game, and we're in the process of doing it right now." So that's a big undertaking, and there's been some conversations so far, but hopefully when all things are said and done, we'll be able to go in and make something really cool for you guys again. Ending that quote right there, this here acts as like an official confirmation or an official announcement of a third installment for this game series. Of course, I think that we all kind of knew that a third game for this overall game series would be coming eventually. It was just a matter of when and where, and I think that that question still remains of a when and kind of where we're actually going to be finally getting this game. And this is also the first time that we are officially kind of hearing something from Lucasfilm, although Cameron Monaghan isn't like necessarily Lucasfilm, but he is heavy in the development of this overall game and this franchise. And so it's likely that the sequel would not be released for some time. However, judging by the gap between the releases of its first two titles in the franchise, of course. This year all being said, where could a third Jedi game take the adventures of Cal Kestis? At the end of Jedi Survivor, Cal and his companions grieve the losses of their fallen allies as the hero grapples with the fact that he almost lost himself to the dark side of the Force throughout the game. And so, presumably, the third game will deal with this fallout of this. And so, it will also very likely advance the romance between Kestis and Marin, who became a couple during the events of the second game after meeting in the first. I'm also going to go off on a limb here and say that the third installment to this game series is going to act as the final one for this specific, game series. That doesn't mean that the story of these characters, though, however, are going to end, especially for Cal Kestis. I feel, and I think that I speak for a lot of you Star Wars fans out there when I say this, that there is still so much more story and adventure out there for Cal Kestis. As I did mention at the beginning of this video, I'm very prominent on the idea that we will someday eventually hopefully see Cal Kestis after the events of the original trilogy in the Mandoverse, after the events of the original trilogy with Ahsoka, Mando, Boba Fett, and all these other characters. Luke Skywalker, I just feel that there is still so much out there for this overall character, and I definitely think that these three games have done plenty with setting up his character and introducing him into the franchise, of course, as well, giving him a prominent name out there in a galaxy far, far away. When people hear the name of Cal Kestis, they know who that is, and they know the story behind that character. And so, I believe that the third installment to this game series will act as a finale or a final part, as I had mentioned, for this overall game series. So it's going to do a lot with expanding things off from the second game and kind of wrapping some of those loose ends up, and then also unveiling and setting things up what we're going to see in the overall third game and like what its story actually has to offer, and then from there closing the overall story out and actually having the characters move forward, go forward, and either giving them a happy ending type of scenario, I think is one thing, and one thing that we will for sure actually see. Maybe more not so happy endings, more sad endings maybe is a potential. Hopefully, unfortunately, fingers crossed now that wouldn't be the case. Okay, and then it's probably also going to do some things out there with kind of setting things up, like leaving it open to expand on more with, as I had to mention, if and when they want to bring Cal Kestis into live action for one thing in the Mandoverse, or if there are other stories to kind of revolve around this time period that they're already in, like what is Cal Kestis maybe doing during the the events of the original trilogy. Maybe they explain that he does go off eventually and join the rebellion and work with them, kind of similar to with Ahsoka Tano. And maybe they just kind of like do that and like they say that's kind of what happens, or they actually do give us more to it and give us more adventures, maybe an animated show or something along those lines focused on Cal Kestis and his crew. I think is something that could be very neat, or a comic book storyline or novels even, I think would be pretty neat. So once again, as I had mentioned, there's just so much more to do with this character and expanding on with this overall character, and so many other areas in the galaxy that he can go. So of course, into the regards of when we may potentially actually see this game here come out, as I had mentioned, kind of basing it off of the release date between the first two games, Jedi Fallen Order from 2018 and then Jedi Survivor from this year, 2023. That's a 5-year gap, but we do want to go ahead and throw in that yes, there was a pandemic, there was COVID going on during that time that created a lot of delays for that overall reason. But kind of basing it off of that, I'm going to go ahead and say we probably have a good 3 to 4 years until we're actually able to get the third and final installment to the Jedi games. And yes, I am very hopeful, fingers crossed, that Lucasfilm is going to follow through with it. This game series has definitely done quite wonders for them and has proven that a lot of fans out there really do love this game. This game appeals not just to Star Wars fans, of course, it just appeals to just in general gamers, I think, out there at the same time as well. And so with that, they're able to go ahead and expand off and reach much more of an audience out there, luring potential new Star Wars fans and newcomers to the Star Wars franchise just based off of these games alone. But of course, not just that, the reception and the feedback, the way that the first two games, of course, have been received from fans and gamers alike, of course, as well, has been nothing but amazing. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and go off on a limb and say that they're probably going to need to have a good 3 to 4 years until we're actually going to get the third game. And so at the end of the day, though, so long as Respawn Entertainment continues to adhere to the Jedi series hallmarks and key gameplay mechanics, whilst also delivering another strong, emotionally resonant narrative and story overall, which is something, as I had mentioned, they have a lot to work with, both wrapping things up for from the second game and kind of continuing on some loose ends in the third game, and then setting things up for the future. The third entry should go off without a hitch, of course. This here all being said, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What would you guys want to see with the third installment to the Jedi Survivor Fallen Order game series? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.